I have hope. Otherwise, we're doomed. I don't think there's any other way to look at it besides try to be somewhat hopeful, and also try
Mhm.
to try to make your small stamp on the world, if it's small or big. Like, right, we all have a responsibility to
Yeah.
provide some of that hope.
Yeah, totally. I keep saying lately to friends, I'm like, isn't it weird? Like mostly I'm talking about like evil, powerful people like Donald Trump. And I'm like, isn't it weird that like Donald Trump was a baby? Like everybody was a baby. Like we were, if you just like look at someone and you're like pissed off at them or they say something inappropriate or whatever, just like, I don't know, if you think about people as babies and just like we're all so traumatized um in such different ways. I mean, I think like for me to answer that question, I feel hopeful because of the amount of incredible people like you that exist in the world that are like
100%.
teaching people how to directly, deal with their trauma or talk about their trauma for the first time or whatever. I think that there's so much more tools out there to like address and educate yourself on like how to address the trauma, which is really cool. But I also think that we also are in the egocentric, crazy capitalistic world.
It is
um,
interesting thinking about it all coming down to trauma, though, because
yeah,
I know the book called The Myth of Normal. It's taken me so long to read it. I know it came out
a
a while
long
ago.
one.
Like, it's a 500-page book. I'm obsessed with it. I'm getting through it. But my point is, like, it all comes down to people being traumatized. And, like, if we could all look internally and try to heal our wounds, like, that's number one. And
Yeah.
which is, again, coming back to you, Lynn, why the work that you do is so profound, because it is literally the starting grounds of healing this whole world and becoming more hopeful.
And that's part of what makes my work so meaningful for me is
Hmm.
that I really feel like I'm contributing something in terms of healing the world and healing
Hmm.
myself at the same time, obviously.
Totally.
Um, and part of the work that you do too is the projects that you do, you're really interviewing people who are making a difference and who are engaged in making the world better somehow.
Hmm.
And then you also are doing that in your own life and as employers and in your production company. That's pretty cool that you could do.
Yeah. I'll never forget one interview we did on this feature length film that we made on social entrepreneurship. One of the entrepreneurs that we interviewed was talking about how like all the world's problems is actually, it's so simple. It's obvious. It's like an opportunity for so many jobs, so many career paths. Because like there's obviously a means of trying to help alleviate it or solve that issue, right? So I love
Mhm.
that. And I think filmmaking is a vehicle for that. I think obviously the work that you do is a vehicle for that. I think, yeah, there's tons of opportunities out there.
Well, it's also just so cool, like how accessible it is these days, like video and just like people sharing stories and seeing themselves on socials, even though it's like, I don't know, kind of doomsday to like be on social media and be on your phone all the time. But like, it's incredible how like TikTok just cracks me so hard with the algorithm of like queer filmmaker. I'm just like, it's such a niche. And
Right.
just seeing queer people in this way that's so normalized on my feed, it's just like, it's so validating and yeah, I love it. And just yeah, having access, like the next generation having such quick access to like share their stories and like access those role models online. Yeah, it definitely gives me hope for sure.
This is Lynn Fraser. Join us for the 2024 Radical Recovery Summit, January 12th to 21st. RadicalRecoverySummit.com.